Good morning. We are beginning with a sponsored dedication today, requested by Alice Peterson in honor of Alan for Valentine's Day. I am going to read her dedication. As the years advance in a marriage, the meaning of love changes with us. What once conjured images of hearts and flowers is transformed into the opportunity to serve one another. Today, I want to express my appreciation for my husband Alan's steadfast love in a changing world. What a Wonderful World was played years ago at our wedding. It's a song that reminds us both to celebrate the miracle of nature and the simple joys still present in our world. I carry your heart. I carry it in my heart. E. Cummings. Happy Valentine's Day, Alan.
morning. My name is Madeline. For those of you who don't know me, it's my pleasure to be here today. Please stand and join me for number 311, Let It Be a Dance. Let it be a dance we do. May I have this dance with you through the good times and the bad times too. Let it be a dance. Let a dancing song be heard. Play the music, say the words, and fill the sky with sailing birds. Let it be a dance. Let it be a dance. Let it be a dance. Learn to follow, learn to lead. Feel the rhythm, feel the need. To reap the harvest, plant the seed. Let it be a dance. Let it be a dance we do. May I have this dance with you through the good times and the bad times too. Let it be a dance. Everybody turn and spin. Let your body learn to bend. And like a willow with the wind. Let it be a dance. Let it be a dance. Let it be a dance. A child is born, the old must die. A time for joy, a time to cry. Take it as it passes by. Let it be a dance.
Good morning, and welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Church of Spokane. I'm Lisa Conger, your lay leader this morning. We're glad to have you with us. UUCS is a very welcoming congregation, and we appreciate your unique backgrounds, beliefs, or lifestyle. If you're one of our longtime members or have been here a short time, or if you're joining us today for the very first time, we're delighted to have you with us. Welcome to everyone, and also to those who are streaming our service. It is our mission to join together to create a nourishing liberal religious home and to champion justice, diversity, and environmental stewardship in the wider world, or in short, to create community, find justice, and find meaning and work for justice. I'm sorry, I'm discombobulated. I just have a couple of announcements, 3 announcements. First, a reminder that the Hearts and Souls Valentine's Dance is here next Saturday on February 14th at 7 p.m. Celebrate love, friendship, and community with us. And we could use help with ticket sales, set up Friday, and clean up after the dance. Even a short time makes a big difference. If you have any questions, talk to Nancy Avery. She's standing there in the back, and she's got a little red hat on her shawl. And next Sunday is the return of our monthly potluck at 12:30. And today in the chapel at 12:30 is the poetry sharing circle. And now Jackie has an announcement.
Thank you. I just wanted to let everyone know that I'm going to be doing a recital here on March 20th, and I will let you all know more about that as it grows closer. But if anybody is interested in helping me out with welcoming people as they come in the door and watching the hall while I'm tucked away in the sanctuary meditating and getting my Zen on, please let me know, because I'd love to have a helper. Anyway, thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay. And before we turn to greet one another, I would like to particularly welcome 2 guests. Madeline McNeil, our former music director, is here. And our guest speaker, a member of our church community, Jacob Johns. I will be introducing him a little bit further, closer to his presentation. So So please take a few moments now to greet one another. Be sure to say hello to someone you don't know. Just a reminder, there'll be an opportunity to visit with one another following the service during our coffee hour in the Friendship Hall. We now turn from our informal greeting of one another to formally begin our service by lighting our chalice, the symbol of Unitarian Universalism, the symbol of our unity and solidarity, of our openness and inclusion, of our community and individual uniqueness. May this small flame be our offering of warmth to those who are cold and alone, and a light to those in darkness. May it be a flame that ignites justice in our world, and a beacon of hope to those in need. And may it reflect at least a spark of truth wherever truth has been lost, and cast a healthy shadow of doubt where it has been found. Our opening reflection this morning is a poem by Joy Harjo. She is a member of the Muskogee Creek Nation, and she draws on her First Nation storytelling and history, as well as feminist and social justice poetic traditions, and she frequently incorporates indigenous myths, symbols, and values into her writing. And her poem is called Praise the Rain. Praise the rain, the seagull dive, the curl of plant, the raven talk. Praise the hurt, the house slack, the stand of trees, the dignity. Praise the dark, the moon cradle, the sky fall, the bear sleep. Praise the mist, the warrior name, the earth eclipse, the fired leap. Praise the backwards, upward sky, the baby cry, the spirit food. Praise canoe, the fish rush, the hole for frog, the upside down. Praise the day, the cloud cup, the mind flat, forget it all. Praise crazy, praise sad, praise the path on which we're led. Praise the roads on earth and water, praise the eater and the eaten. Praise beginnings, praise the end, praise the song and praise the singer. Praise the rain, it brings more rain. Praise the rain, it brings more rain.
Please stand, join me for number 134, Our World is One World. Our world is one world, what touches one affects us all. The seas that wash us round about, the clouds that cover us, the rains that fall. Our world is one world, the thoughts we think affect us all. The way we build our attitudes with love or hate we make, a bridge or wall. Its ways of wealth affect us all. The
Each time we gather as a congregation, there are always those who are with us in our hearts and minds and who we want to wrap in our love and care. We kindle light this morning for those suffering from the wars anywhere in the world, particularly in Ukraine, the Middle East, Palestine, Gaza, for those suffering in Somalia, and for those here in the United States confronting the violence and aggression of ICE agents, both immigrants and others, and for our beloved earth, our home. Let us share a moment in silence, embracing others who are here in our hearts this morning. You are welcome to say their names aloud as you are willing.
People of Minneapolis.
Those named aloud and those remembered in the silence, and all those who are suffering elsewhere in our world this hour, we hold in our community of compassion. We now gratefully give and receive this morning's offering, which sustains this community and its mission to the larger world.
For our Time for All Ages, I'd love to invite any children to come up to the front row. And I'd like to invite all of you to stand up if you're willing and able. I've got an activity, I guess you'd call it, a participatory chant that I've adapted from something on the UUA. So we'll start with the words. Anytime that we see injustice in the world, usually brings up ideas, we might start talking about it. So we'll start with the words, and then we're gonna add on the hand motions. So repeat these words after me. We reach down for grassroots power.
We reach down for grassroots power.
Reach up for inspiration.
Reach up for inspiration.
Stomp out injustice.
Stomp out injustice.
and move in the winds of change. Yeah, and you got those hand motions so well. So I'm going to step away from the microphone and we'll say all 4 parts of those together with the hand motions. Ready? We reached down for grassroots power, reached up for inspiration, stomp out injustice, and move in the winds of change. All right, thank you for participating with me in that story. And now join me in singing the children out for Children's Chapel.
Go now in peace, go now in peace. May the spirit of love surround you everywhere, everywhere you may go.
Let us shift our attention now to a time of meditation. I invite you to find a relaxed, receptive posture, to close your eyes if you wish, and to take a few deeper breaths as I lead us into the silence with this poem of mine entitled, A Loving Hold. The fresh snow coats all surfaces, transforming sharp angles into a softened, impressionistic view. The blank field becomes a canvas for bird and small animal footprints. Shrews and other small beings forage under the white blanket, searching for seeds and fallen berries. Tall, golden grasses peek above the snow blanket, their feathery plumes dancing a bit in the breeze. The late afternoon sunlight touches all with an ambered glow. It can be a lonely time, yet all this beauty embraces me in a loving hold that includes me in the great belonging.
Oh, the Yellowstone, oh, the buffalo free, oh, my brother the wolf, my lover the moon, oh, the little one, oh, the joy that I feel, oh, the love in my heart, a wilderness song. Sister the sea, oh the ocean shore, oh the castles of stone, oh the mountain top calling to me. Oh, my own, my sister, my own. Oh, the tenderness, oh, the longing for love, oh, the beautiful way, the sweet coming home.
That was incredible. Thank you both so much. It is my great pleasure and privilege to formally introduce our guest speaker, Jacob Johns. He is an international environmental systems strategist and a multidisciplinary artist working to address global environmental issues through policy, culture, and community-based solutions. For the past 4 years, Jacob has spearheaded a Wisdom Keepers delegation, a coalition of indigenous knowledge holders and ancestral wisdom practitioners working to transform international climate policy while cultivating ethical leadership among global stakeholders. Jacob is a member of the Akimal Hopi tribe. He will tell us more in his presentation. Please welcome Jacob to our pulpit.
So I wanted to just start off again by acknowledging Madeline being back and how wonderful it is to hear her behind the microphone. It just always soothes my nerves. So thank you so much for being here with us again. And also Jackie and his amazing talent. It's just a wonderful thing. I took some notes. I wanted to make sure that I was hitting key things today as we started to talk. So back in 2016, I was working as an organizer for political action committees that were aligned with the Democratic Party here in Washington State. And we were doing really well in our campaigns. It wasn't the first campaign I worked on. We were doing really well in Eastern Washington, and we had a week off. And people were going to go to Maui. You know, they're going to go to Tahoe. They were doing all this stuff because we had a week, a paid vacation, basically. And I went to North Dakota. And at the time, it was things that were happening at Standing Rock. The Dakota Access Pipeline was trying to be installed underneath the Missouri River, and it was going to poison the water. And the tribal chairman had called for people to come out and stand with them on the line, and I came and went. And it was Memorial Day weekend when I went to Standing Rock first time. And I'm from Arizona originally. I'm Akimal and Hopi, and we're from Arizona. In Arizona, we have a specific drum style, and I was in camp and I heard the drums. I was like, no way, that sounds like home, right? That sounds like home. And then sure enough, the boys from Arizona came up, and they were going down to the original construction site to do a ceremony, a water ceremony. And so I went with them. And this was over Memorial Day weekend, and so there was an injunction in place that was preventing the Dakota Access Pipeline from doing construction over the weekend because there was historical significance sites that were in the path of the pipeline. And so when we went over there to say the prayer, do the water blessing at the original construction site, they said that they're actually doing construction and ignoring the injunction that was taking place. And so we marched down to where they were doing the construction, and the injunction was in place because over 100 years ago, a bunch of women and children were killed by the American government as they were encroaching upon their land. And where those women and children fell, they buried them. And those graves were in the path of the pipeline. And as we were down there praying for the water, we witnessed those graves being destroyed in front of us. And 27 graves were destroyed before we were able to stop them that day. And it became violent. They had attack dogs that they had brought with them, and they let loose on the crowd, and they were pepper spraying us, and they were, doing all these horrible things to us. It was the first time that any violence had happened against the land defenders and water protectors there in Dakota Access Pipeline. It just so happens that Democracy Now! Was there, and they interviewed me, and here I am, from Spokane, my zip code is, bad time. But it ended up getting, the video went wild, it went off. It got 13 million views in a week. It was violence. It was it was awful what was happening there. And so after I had self-identified on the video, I ended up doing a crowdfunding situation where we raised $5,000 in a week. And then we took the $5,000, bought a bunch of supplies, and drove them back to North Dakota to distribute to the front line to solidify the movement and the resistance that was taking place there on the ground. While we were there, we were able to work with the tribe and ask the tribe to have the tribe write a letter to ask the city of Spokane for support. So the city council approved support for the water protectors based off of the letter that we received from the Cheyenne River Sioux tribe. And it started this whole thing where it was just nonstop. And we were doing really well in the campaign, and we were successful. And we were actually at the Westin in Seattle celebrating because our campaign was successful, right? We were aligned with the Democratic Party at the Westin in Seattle, and all these campaigns were coming together to watch the election. And then Donald Trump became the president. And they're in the hallways and they're crying, right? The Democrats are losing their minds. And we had won. I did my job, I'm done. And people were devastated. And I thought, this is just a mistake. There's no way that this creature could be our president. And sure enough, the next day was solidified. And so instead of continuing to work for our political action committees, I switched over and went to the Backbone campaign, where they have a program called community-supported organizing. And so a community-supported organizer is basically just an activist who has fiscal sponsorship that does the work full-time and is able to take donations to help cover their cost of living. So after that, I started doing community-supported organizing for the next 9 years. And, it was very small donations, about $5 a month from small people, maybe $300 a month in total that I survived off for almost a decade. And while I was doing there, focusing on local stuff, focusing on regional stuff, it brought me into national campaigns and national movements. The Dakota Access Pipeline was a big national movement, and that actually became an international movement, right? But when we talk about international spaces, it's really hard for us as Americans to really think about the world outside of our own walls and our own fences. It's really hard for us to think that there's a whole other world out there. And it's really hard, I think, for civil society to go into international spaces and see how our government acts in these international spaces as bullies, as obstructionists, as naysayers who inhibit a progressive climate policy that countries have been working on for years. And the United States will come in and say, nah, I'm good. And then China will do the same thing, and Russia and all the other major world's economies will follow suit. And this logical, progressive policy that could have been enacted that would help save millions of lives of human beings on this planet was naysayed by fascism and capitalism. And so as one person who is going into these spaces as a part of a larger group, I'm not with these large organizations. I'm not with 350. I'm not with Greenpeace. I'm just a solo community-supported organizer. And as I was traveling around, I realized that I was just one voice in a sea of noise that was trying to advocate and yell at world leaders to do the right thing. And when I came back from the second time, from my second the Conference of the Parties, I was jet lagged. I was severely jet lagged. I couldn't sleep. And I don't know if y'all done travel, but the jet lag is the worst for me. And I have perpetual jet lag all the time, and it's the worst. I see you back there with your hand raised. Yeah, I feel you. But the Conference of the Parties is called the COP, right? It's for short. But the Conference of the Parties is the negotiating table for the signatories on the climate accords. So if you are a country that's signed on to the Paris Accord, the Kyoto Accord, any of these climate accords, you go once a year to the Conference of the Parties, and each country will send a delegation team, and they negotiate the inner workings of those climate accords. This has been happening for 30 years. And as somebody who was just one person, I've seen so many indigenous people being paraded around by large NGOs to advocate for whatever their funders sent them for. And it made sense to me that, that all these indigenous people are out here advocating for these NGOs, but they're not speaking for themselves. And there were common threads of morality and spiritual connection, but nothing really severe. And when I came back, I was so jet lagged from being in Glasgow for a month and trying to do all these things as one person. And I was meditating. And, if I'm waking up at a specific time, I always make sure that as soon as I wake up, I meditate on the floor for about an hour. And so here I am meditating, and I'm doing this whole thing, and I had this flash that I needed to find people of the same frequency to travel around the planet, to sacred sites, to create a network, a new sphere of consciousness that was going to help elevate the consciousness of all of humanity. Right, it's 3 o'clock in the morning, and I'm drinking coffee in my underwear on my kitchen floor. I'm like, what do you mean? Well, 4 hours later, I got an email from a man that I met in Glasgow. And his name was Poovan Moodley. He was the executive director of the Earthrise Collective. And he asked me to join this group of people to travel the world and say prayers at sacred sites. And I told him I knew you were coming. And so I drove down to California to meet with them as they were coming from Giza to Mount Shasta, and they were on their way transitioning to Mauna Kea in Hawaii. And so I went down to see who these people were because they had asked me to come travel with them to, all these places to pray, to see who these people were. And the experience that I had there was very spiritually significant, and I agreed to continue to travel with these people. We traveled all around the world. I went to Greenland, to the North Pole, to pray for the northernmost part, to China, to Tibet, to Mount Kailash, to Australia, to New Zealand, to Copenhagen. I went to Mount Shasta. We went all over the world. I think the last trip that we took, it was 27 flights and 48 days. And it was a massive whirlwind of going, praying, going and praying. And then we came back. And if you've ever had to go through what we had gone through, it was a lot. And these people that I had gone and traveled with and prayed with were very, very, it was like some sort of initiation process. And these people, I asked them after we had done traveling, would you all come together and help me co-create and advance contemporary climate policy at the United Nations? And the folks agreed. And so 4 years ago now, I had formed a loose collective called A Wisdom Keepers Delegation, where we took these cultural leaders and these spiritual people from around the world and all these different traditions to come together for basically co-creating contemporary climate policy that responds to the negotiating tracks at the climate accords underneath the umbrella of the United Nations. I know that's a mouthful, but it's a lot. And when we tried to get people together to advocate, it was very important because we created a policy platform that each one of the delegates, each one of our group, was able to go out and advance in their own country's negotiating teams. So instead of just being one person or one group advocating to one country within the world, we were the world advocating to world leaders. And so after that, we needed money. And the first place we were going to was Dubai in the UAE. And I don't know if you know this, but Dubai is the most expensive city in the world. And I am a community supporter organizer who makes like $300 a month, right? And we're trying to take 8 people all around. At any rate, I believed that this was what I was supposed to do, and I went down to New Mexico to meet with some folks who were doing this grant that I had applied for. And while there, I went to support some local movement spaces that asked me to come out for an all-night prayer vigil. And while there, a right-wing fascist showed up with a gun and shot me in the chest, and I died. And after being shot, but after dying, I've been very open about this, that I met a council of spirits, that I had to examine everything that I had ever done in my life. And I had to feel everything that I had ever made anybody else feel. And it was good. And it gave me enough evidence that I could advocate to come back into my body to continue to be a father to my young daughter who's 13 now and is in RE. And I asked her, I said, can I come? They said it wouldn't be easy. And so I came back into my body and I was torn up. It was a hollow point bullet. It destroyed my insides. It crashed my lungs. It went through my pancreas. It destroyed my liver. It destroyed my spleen, completely removed it. I mean, I had 3 drains in my abdomen that were pulling fluid from my internal organs. I went into a safety pack and in a fanny pack that I carried for 6 months. But when I came to in the hospital, I remembered what I had agreed to on the spirit side, and I continued to do my obligations. So 2 weeks after I got out of the hospital in New Mexico, I jumped on a plane to go to Dubai to continue to do the work that I had agreed to on the spirit side. 3 years went by. We went to Dubai, we were successful. We went to Azerbaijan, we were successful. And we just came back from Brazil for COP30, where we had switched over from not just being climate advocates in an international group that were advocating for a healthy, just, livable future, but we were also coming into country to support our indigenous sisters and brothers who were not being represented in their own country. And we were able to send $30,000 to help bring 100 of our relatives from the neighboring state of Acrea to come to the Conference of the Parties to advocate for the lungs of the planet. And it wasn't just one tribe, 100 members, it was 4 tribes. They brought 4 different delegations, including an uncontacted tribe that came from the heart of the Amazon to speak to the world about what's happening when there isn't any television, what's happening in the heart of the Amazon when there isn't any Instagram. And so we were able to bring them up. And maybe I'll ask Todd to play this video. Wisdom Keepers delegation. I had a COP, but we know as indigenous people that when we enter into other people's territory, we must come in a good way. And so we have brought our relatives from Maui to lead us on a ceremonial canoe paddle up the river here so that we can greet our relatives, the Huriquin, who we've helped to come up from the heart of the Amazon. We are standing in solidarity with our sisters and our brothers who are defending the planet, defending the lungs of the earth. And we know that we will only have each other if we want to move forward into a new consciousness. That we must find others who are of the same frequency and of the same vibration, who can come together in ceremonial ways and broadcast new energy that is meant to be received by those who will help us elevate and evolve as humanity. And we know that we must come into this territory and ask for permission from the original caretakers of this land. And so this morning, as we wake up before sunrise, we're going to be jumping into these canoes, these Hawaiian va'as, and we are going to paddle up this river, which is the cousin of the Amazon, and ask for permission from our relatives, the Huniquin, who will gather on the shores and welcome us into this territory. We must do this before we enter into this much important work at the UN COP, as we work together to advance contemporary climate policy that highlights all of indigenous people's needs globally, including our own domestic perspectives. The only way for us to move forward together is to stand in solidarity, and not conceptually, but physically, financially, and spiritually.
Falando essas palavras para vocês, porque meu avô e minha avó morreu com 130 anos, outro morreu com 190 anos, nunca tiveram oportunidade de estar falando isso para o mundo. Então hoje eu me sinto honrado e por isso que eu vou deixar essa música aqui para o mundo, que se sinta que lutamos juntos por esse espírito que vivemos. Essa música se chama O Fruto da Semente Está Nascendo. E por isso estamos aqui. House, 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 house.
Yeah, jingles. The jingles. 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 Jingles.
Jingles. Jingles all the way.
I think I would like Jingle Crush.
I wanted to leave that part in there because that was my daughter, and also the kids were there, right? But that's also just like, it brings a realistic human perspective, you know, that we had to spend a month over there in Brazil. Like a month, and I know it sounds cool, oh, a month in Brazil. It's like, I was working the whole time. What are you talking about? I don't get paid. What are you talking about, you know? So it's a whole thing. And putting in a little bit of human in there really brings it to a realistic thing. You know, when you see stuff like this, it's really easy to get caught up and think of it as separate from reality, when this is not true. You know, that this idea of a multilateral system that was created by the United States is now turning in on itself we all understand the fate of what's taking place right now. And that it's important for us to realize that just because somebody says that they are in power doesn't necessarily mean that they are. And that human beings, that we should remind ourselves that just because somebody says they are in charge doesn't mean necessarily that they speak for you. Just as you know, originally when the United States had taken themselves out of the UNFCCC during Trump's first administration, what a joke that was and how embarrassing it was. And you know, when we have these leaders who are supposed to be representing us, and especially in international spaces, it's embarrassing because of how often they act as obstructionists in these international spaces. And so it's important, especially when we go into these international spaces and find other people, to remind ourselves that we're not alone. I think one of the most invigorating things about going into these international spaces and speaking truth to power is to remind ourselves that we are not alone. That we're not siloed in our own fascist states, that we have community in our siblings that are found in other countries. And that those siblings are fighting for the same healthy, just, livable future that we are. And that we're not alone. And oppressive systems will always try to convince us through false realities that they have won and that we have lost. And I'm here to tell you that just because the science tells us that we are at the end and that ecosystems are collapsing, I'm here to tell you that somebody who has already died and came back, that we have a chance. And we have more than a chance, that is our only option. We cannot stand by and feel that we are completely isolated and that we have lost and all of our morals are out the window. That's a false narrative that is being created by billionaires who are bent on destroying the planet. And I'm here to tell you that we will survive. We will come back, we will thrive, and more importantly, we will succeed into envisioning and manifesting this future that is healthy and just and livable, what is possible now. And the only way for us to find out what is possible now is by stepping away from this control mechanism, these oppressive systems, and reaching out across borders, across bridges, across separations, and reminding ourselves that we are humanity, that we are society and we will always win, and that good will always prevail in the face of evil. And in no system that is built by pedophiles will ever succeed, the moral responsibility that we have for each other and for future generations. And so I want you all to remember this, that even as the world is saying it's falling apart, that we are finding ourselves in other people, that we are finding our voices in other languages, and that our frequency is raising from the entire planet. And that there are people who are working to safeguard humanity, even as ecosystems collapse and fail. And a Wisdom Keepers delegation is working desperately to make sure that we're able to create safeguards for humanity by creating templates for adaptation and mitigation for communities to adapt and still incorporate all of these international demands in their own backyard. This idea of us creating solidarity lines across shared knowledge for civilizations that have lasted thousands of years, and being able to bring those truths to our head to be utilized for the current good of all is what we are here to do. So even as multinational and multilateral systems fall apart, I'm here to remind you that you are not alone, and that screens lie, and that billionaires will always try to control and manipulate. But we have each other. And there is always a way out. There is always light in the dark, and there is always happiness, even when we're crying. So I'm here to tell you that there is hope, and that the new day will come, and that the illusion of failure is something that is being forced down our throats by people who control screens. And just as this video is showing you what we can do internationally, I want you to put down your screens and remind yourself that you're not alone by going out and stepping outside of your own circles and your own echo chambers, and remind yourself that America is not a trash hole, and that we are, as American citizens, are not doomed to destroy each other, but we will thrive, we will grow, and we will evolve. And this is that evolution process. I was a teenager once, so I don't know if y'all remember that, but whew, this is our evolutionary process. This is happening, and it's painful, and it's awful, but we need to remind ourselves and reiterate the frequency that is necessary for us to evolve, and more importantly, to grow. So I wanted to maybe talk a little bit about something locally, before I forget. We are working on a sculpture. I don't know if you all remember, but there was a street that was named after here, that was named after a genocidal maniac. I don't know if you all remember that, but we as a community here at the church, along with a lot of other community members, worked very hard to have the street name changed. We had convinced the city years ago to give us those signs that were of this man, and we have had them in storage for the past 5 years. I've been for 5 years selling t-shirts to raise money to pay for the sculptures, to create this giant sculpture out of these horrendous street sign names, and we're going to be placing that sculpture here at the church as a reminder to our community of what happens when we come together and right the wrongs of our past. That we can take our horrible past that we all share together and create something new, and create something beautiful, and create something large. And so that's happening here. Ricky wasn't able to be here, but I'm going to be in the back talking about the sculpture, and also I have some swag bags and some other stuff. If you guys want to make a donation to a Wisdom Keepers delegation, you're more than welcome to. I'll be in the back there in just a little bit. And I'd like to maybe, if I can, just lean a little bit into doing another guided meditation. So if I can get you all to just relax in your spaces, get comfortable wherever you're at. I'm going to grab a cup of water and drink it. And then close your eyes. This is a process called Hyota. On Hyota, we sit and we imagine that we're on the sun, or we're on the earth, facing the sun. And it's cold and it's dark. And you're sitting in the dark and you're facing the east, and the sun starts to rise. And the first lights of daylight pop up above the horizon, and they touch the crown of your head. And as the sun rises, you take an inhale and you pull the light from the sky down into your body, filling up your head. And as you pull the light down, you exchange the light for all of the darkness that is trapped in your head, and you blow it out. As the sun rises, you continue to breathe the light as it pulls it down farther and farther in your body, making your chin and your throat and your chest glow with the divine light of creation. And you blow out the stress. All of the light, as the sun is rising higher in the sky, it's filling your body, and you're pulling it down just by breathing. Each breath pulls that light farther and farther down into your abdomen, down into your hips, pulling out all of the darkness and the negative that is trapped in exchange, and you blow it out. Continue to pull the light and breathe it into your body as it goes down past your hips, down into your thighs, into your knees, into your calves, pulling out the darkness and the stress and the worry that has been trapped inside of your physical body for so long, and blow it out. The sun is getting higher, and it's filling up your body. As you breathe it in, it comes all the way through your whole body, out the tips of your toes, until your body is just glowing with divine light that was given to you by creation. And the light becomes brighter and brighter until your body dissolves and you are left with just one sphere of consciousness. Imagine that your body is just one sphere of consciousness, a glowing ball of light emanating divine creation light. And at the top of your head, where the top of the head used to be, becomes the North Pole. And where the base of your spine used to be, becomes the South Pole. And your heart is the center of the earth. And as you breathe light, imagine light coming down from the crown of your head, the North Pole coming down to the equatorial regions as one sphere of consciousness, furthering it down and further into the southern hemisphere, and finally the South Pole. Feel you're breathing in the new day, and the entire earth is being charged with the divine light of consciousness. And where your heart is connected to the center of planet, remind yourself that the heat and the warmth that you're absorbing from outside sources is actually contained inside of you. And that the warmth in the core of your being is connected to the center of the heart, or the center of the earth. And as you open your heart, you expand the energy and feel it broadcasting from the core of your being, radiating from the core of the planet, simultaneously radiating from your heart. Feel your heart emanating, feel the planet emanating. Thank you.
So good. Thank you so much. Ah, so invigorating. Makes me want to sing opera. It's so good. It's just so much energy and passion. I really appreciate it. Let's sing some Blue Boat Home. Please stand. Join me for 1064. Though below me I feel no motion, standing on these mountains and plains, far away from the rolling ocean, still my dry land heart can
Our benediction is from two sources. The first is adapted from Alama Luz Villanueva. The sacred is not in heaven or far away. It is all around us, and small human rituals can connect us to its presence. This week, may we be aware of this act and act accordingly. And from Amanda Gorman's poem, The Hill We Climb. When day comes, we stepped out of the shade of flame and unafraid. The new dawn blooms as we free it, for there is always light, if only we're brave enough to see it, if we're only brave enough to be it. Amen, blessed be, salam alaikum, and shalom.